zebra stripe pattern just going down in loop beauty. Look at that little, just chilling in there. I can move 4 more. What's up? And how is it going, my children of BIMPSON? Today we have not 1, not 8, but 2 big announcements to talk about. One that is a little holier than now, and a big dream of mine, which I probably titled the video. Yes, finally being able to see my dream species that I've produced myself. I not only own the species of gecko that I absolutely love, but I made my very own, and that is just some exciting stuff. However, just like with anything in life, when there is good, there is also bad, and lo and behold, there is another problem at DBCB Exotics. Nope, it's not just my broken door. We have another big problem that I want to talk to you about, you guys, today. So strap in, buckle up while I slowly try to open this door because it is on the verge of completely collapsing, and let's head into the gecko room and talk about some stuff. Easy does it. Easy does it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, okay. Up. Let's get started. Woo-wee, folks, it is like a tropical jungle going on in here. Now, high humidity and high heat. Almost time to take down the luxurious silk-woven 400,000 count thread blanket down to have some air ventilation because it's actually a little steamy in here if I do say so myself. As I've mentioned, we have good and we... Get out of my way. Have good and bad things to talk about today at DBC Exotics. So let's start with the bad. Now, obviously, if you guys are fans of the channel, you guys know we've been trying to hit that big project 100 babies in one season. I know it doesn't sound like a big feat to most, but especially when you're talking about the big breeders, but it is a giant milestone for mine. To finally get into the triple digits of baby production in one season for DBCB Exotics is huge. And while some of you boys might be thinking to yourself, oh, Dakota, is it just a bad year for you? Are you not gonna hit that mark? No sirree, quite the contrary. In fact, we are actually potentially going to precede that mark of over 100. Now, if I've done my math correctly, which might not be the case whatsoever, I did not pass high school education, it should say that we are going to get anywhere from 120 to almost 150 babies if the Monitor and Tegu project pan out the way I hope they do. You might be thinking to yourself, that's amazing, Dakota, look at that, you are going to have 100 babies. DBCB Exotics is going to flourish for the first time in years. Finally, our years of struggling in this breeding business is coming to an end. We are actually going to be hitting a market, a profit in our market for the first time. And while you boys and girls, that is the case, I'm very excited to not be poor for the first time in a very long time. There is a catch to it. Some would say a double-edged sword, if you will. Now, it's no surprise here, we have a lot of geckos. Just take a look around. We got geckos in there, we got gecko in there, we got geckos in there, geckos, geckos, a lot of geckos over here. To the point that this room is almost filled. I mean, just take a look around. There's a... God damn, do I got a lot of animals. There are a lot of animals over here at DBCB Exotics, which brings us to the point where we are running out of room, folks. Now, here's the thing, folks. We are now just hitting the hatchlings of our first and second clutch. Now, if you'll be able to see those clutch on Patreon, my Patreon members, you guys know, the good BIMPSON cult, or if you guys are not on Patreon, you have no idea what's going on with these babies, so let's take a quick look around. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 babies already in the first clutch to second clutch now. We have stuff hatching right... Do we have stuff hatching right now? Let's take a look. Be as easy as 1, 2, plop her out. And let's see, what do we got here, folks? What do we got? Do we got anything hatching? Oh, unfortunately, nothing hatching right now, but you can see we got this egg. This egg did hatch. This egg is yet to hatch. They're glued together, so I don't want to remove them. We got these crested gecko babies about to hatch, then we got crested gecko clutch, a chahoua clutch, crested gecko clutch, day gecko clutch. We got a lot of clutches going on right now, and again, this is just the beginning, folks. Geckos are just now laying for the first time into the second time this year. This box is going to get filled very, very fast. What does that mean for old Dakota here? It means I gotta figure out where to put them all, because obviously This rack was supposed to be the baby rack, but it's filling up actually very fast, and I'm slightly concerned on where I'm going to put all of these babies now. We only have one side that has yet been touched, the junk shelf. Look at it in all its glory. Bins that I haven't used, tanks filled with stuff. What is this? This is where I keep my data book. I just throw it on in there like it's nothing. It's just junk over here, and we can move all that junk right there and build another shelf where we can finally put these babies and hopefully have enough room for this year. Because of course, folks, you gotta remember, this is just the beginning right now. We are just hitting our infancy phases. Not only are we gonna have all of these babies that are due to hatch soon, but we also need to grow out stuff like this amazing gargoyle. Come here, little one. Just take a look. Just take a look at this beauty right here. An impeccable gargoyle gecko. Fired down right now, but it is a orange and red striped, a quad striped baby gecko that we produced over here. This guy has been growing great. This is one of our 2020 babies that we produced from our red striped to brown and orange striped garg male. Now this guy's absolutely awesome, but of course they're gonna need some bigger enclosures here next year, which means they are gonna have to go into something like this. These big boy tubs, these 20 corns aren't gonna hold them forever. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4 more 30 or 50. 4 more. 4 more 64 quart tubs for all of these gargs, plus the cresties. They need to get out of those shoe boxes into 20 quarts. We need a lot more room over here. Now, I do believe if we get a shelf in here and we start moving all this stuff, we got the cave gecko stuff on the bottom, we got the gargs, all the grow outs going into this shelf unit that we'll put over here on this wall, leaving this stuff right here, this entire rack to fill with babies. I believe that'll give us enough room for this year. It won't give us much options to expand when we start getting more and more babies, but it is a fix for at least this season. But of course, that just means and reinforces one thing and one thing only. This move has to happen soon, man. We cannot continue working in here. We're gonna need some more space to flourish TBCB Exotics. And this stuff, this dinky little trailer, boys and girls, well, it's just not it. It's not gonna hold the amazingness and the expectations that I hold for the reptile breeding business. Alrighty, folks, we got through the bad news. Just a little bit of a space issue right now. Hopefully that shelf clears it out and we will be A-okay. But enough with the bad. Let's get into the good stuff. And by God, the good stuff is absolutely amazing. Let's talk about the babies we have been producing so far and the dream species I have been waiting all year. As soon as I got my hands on this pair, the only thing I had in my mind is I want to hatch a baby out of this. Let's talk about that baby as well. We'll save that for the end. We'll give a little suspense right now. But there are other babies we should definitely talk about. And that brings us to this shelf right over here. Baby number 1 that I am super excited about. We finally got a clutch from our standing eye pair. And just take a look at this amazing little animal. This guy is only 2 days old. You've got that fluorescent blue tail going on right there. The amazing green head, that zebra striped pattern just going down, an absolutely amazing gecko. As you guys know, I was a little bit concerned about the standing eye. We were not getting the clutches that I wanted. We weren't getting any clutches. I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. But the fact of the matter is, they were actually really good at hiding those eggs. What I thought they would do on this plant that was still alive at this point, but I ended up killing it. I'm really bad at keeping plants alive. They ended up laying in the pot, in this pot right here underneath this part. Take a look at that little mama right there. Look at that little guy. No, that's the male. That's the male. You can tell the male by the big green head and the fluorescent blue tail. Take a look at this guy. Absolutely awesome. But they ended up laying those eggs right in between this bark. And the fact of the matter is, I was actually going to separate him and put him in with the other standing eye that we have, because I was like, there's no eggs going on. Screw it, let's mix it up. But while I was doing that, removing some stuff with Renee, we found this giant clutch of eggs. These geckos were ready to pop at any moment. So I took them out, I put them in the incubator. We wanted to artificially incubate for one reason only. Take a look right here. We got some holes, right? We got a hole here, we've got holes. Now this used to be a chameleon tank, and I would pop holes in it to put the misters and the drippers and stuff like that. Now I didn't want any babies escaping. I don't want to go and wrangle standing eye babies running around this room. That sounds like a total nightmare. So it's just not something I wanted to do. We artificially incubated those eggs. 48 hours later, we got some of these guys. Take a look at some of these pictures I'll post right here, man. A little standing eye baby just chilling on your hand. And the last standing eye baby actually got stuck to the point where I had to help him out of the egg. He wasn't able to crack the egg fully. So we had him out. He hatched out right in my hand, curled up and spawned out. I put him in his enclosure, and that is that same baby right there. Absolutely amazing. Now, not only have we doing great work with the standing eyes, but also the Madagascan giant days. Take a look at that little nugget right there, that beautiful red stripe going down the face. If we can zoom in over here, we've got the fluorescent orange tails that the baby have, an absolutely adorable little nugget. And what I love about these day geckos is the fact that, look how they're not really scared of me. Like, usually gecko species, you know, when you think of the day geckos, you think of these skittish animals that don't want to be seen, but they are out all the time, even from adults. Now, we've got the adults right over here. Take a look. Take a look at these guys. They don't fear me. They're checking me out. They're totally good. I'm being spastic as ever. They're not running away. There's no problem with them whatsoever. It's the same with this little baby. This week-old little day gecko baby is just chilling in there. I can move around. I can move my finger around. Oh, that may have spooked him a little bit. I guess I bit off a little bit more I can chew with that little baby. But all in all, just an incredible animal. Did you guys see how cute that thing was? Well, hello, my goth children. How are you doing today? Hey, why does that one look a little bit more orange? Alright. Have I held out enough for you guys to talk about the standing eyes, the day geckos, all that good stuff, all the amazing stuff happening, the good, the bad? Let's get into the dream gecko I hatched out very recently, a couple days old at this point. And my God, is that the beautifulest old poopy looking nugget you will ever see in your life, boys and girls. Let me show you the dream gecko that we hatched out. And would you just take a look at this adorable little man. Now, this is one of our chahoua geckos that we finally hatched out. Now, funny enough, when this guy first hatched out of the egg, he was like fluorescent green. So I thought, oh, he's taken after the male markings. But as a couple of days have passed, you can see this guy is definitely taken out after the mom. The brown camouflage. And then just this adorable little speck, this adorable little white speck on the snoot. Super cute. Just look at this, folks. We finally produced our own line of chahoua geckos, man. Look at this thing. I am just in awe, dude. This was a species I never thought I'd even own. Due to the price tag of the chahoua gecko, it was just out of my budget. I never thought I was going to be able to have my own of these. To finally, with DBCB Exotics, have enough revenue in order to get a pair of these guys and finally produce my very own. My own little chahoua baby. Look at that little man. Look at that little... He's got like a skull face going on. It's like half snoot, half brown. Absolutely fantastic. Now, when it comes to chahoua breeding, I finally understand what the difficulty and the price tag reflecting it is. Not only do these guys lay very little clutches, somewhere around 2 to 6 babies a year. Now, lucky for us, we did hit that 6 baby march. Unfortunately, however, with this bioactive tank, I've had this tank going for years, and I decided to put my pair of chahoua geckos in it. And it was at that point I realized there were superworm beetles in there, folks, and the superworm beetles got into the 2nd clutch before I was able to get it. And unfortunately, decimated that clutch, only leaving us with 4 chahoua babies. Now, I do believe after 3 clutches, these guys are good for the season. Chahoua crashing, let me tell you, boys and girls, chahoua crashing is an absolutely real thing. I'll post some pictures right up here for you, folks. When this girl laid her final clutch, I knew she was done. She was crashing hard from the calcium due to chahoua geckos laying a very calcified clutch of eggs. These are gonna hold a lot more calcium than your average New Caledonian gecko. You know, the crustets and gargoyles, these things are like bricks. They put a lot of calcium in there for those eggs. And it was at that point I realized this girl was crashing hard, but after a few little syringe feedings of calcium, getting her up to par, removing her with the male, she is looking fantastic once again. And of course, ready for the next season breeding, but at this point, I don't want to push her any harder. I think 3 clutches is enough for us. 4 chahoua gecko babies is enough for this year for our first time. Just so we can keep this little girl. Look at this amazing little gal. Fired down right now, but still an absolute beauty. Look at that little... Sheesh, boys and girls, thank you so much for taking your time and following us over here at DBCB Exotics. I gotta go find a shelf, I gotta go build a shelf, I gotta move a bunch of stuff yet again. It's never-ending work over here. Make sure to go check us down over in that description. We got the Patreon, we got the Morph Market if you're looking for adorable babies, and if you want to purchase the adorable babies, those are the 2 places to go. Thank you so much, goodbye.